And yes, it is hard to know that sometimes politics comes in the way of friendships. And I think JD made this clear in his own response. It is hurtful and it is sad.
What if everything you know about Usha Vance is a carefully curated illusion? Behind the composed lawyer, loyal wife, and quiet political strategist lies a woman shaped by something far deeper and far darker than most realize. Her rise wasn't just ambition, it was calculation. And to understand how, we have to go back to where it all began. Usha's mother, a brilliant molecular biologist, professor, and academic leader, Lakshmi came from a prestigious Indian family steeped in education and tradition. After immigrating to the U.S. in the late 70s with her husband, she built a career at UC San Diego, eventually becoming provost of 6th College. Her passion for science, diversity, and discipline shaped not just classrooms, but her home. Usha was raised in a household defined by Hindu values, academic pressure, and relentless expectations. With a scientist for a mother and an aerospace engineer for a father, excellence wasn't optional, it was mandatory. Usha has publicly praised her upbringing, calling her parents' faith the foundation of their parenting. But was it really as ideal as it seemed? Behind closed doors, insiders suggest the Vance household ran more like a training ground than a nurturing home. Friends say Lakshmi's love may have been conditional, tied to performance, not emotion. This could explain Usha's drive, her success at Yale, and her sharp legal career, but also her emotional distance and rumored ruthlessness. So, what if the woman behind J.D. Vance's political rise isn't just a supportive spouse, but the product of a high-pressure legacy built on perfectionism and silent sacrifice? The truth about Usha Vance might not just rewrite her story. It could redefine everything we think we know about power, ambition, and the women who stand just outside the spotlight. Admired for her intelligence and composure, she's also described as cold, calculating, and emotionally distant. Critics argue this isn't just personality, it's the product of an upbringing rooted in discipline, logic, and control. Raised in a household where perfection was the standard, vulnerability had little room to grow. As J.D. Vance's political star rises, Usha is stepping further into the public spotlight, and her carefully measured demeanor is raising eyebrows. Is her steely calm a sign of strength or emotional detachment? Some insiders claim her success came at a cost, a lack of warmth, affection, and emotional connection. Was her childhood so focused on achievement that it left little space for anything else? Before she was Usha Vance, she was Usha Chilukuri, a standout student from an elite academic family, destined for greatness. After earning degrees from Yale and Yale Law, she clerked for Chief Justice John Roberts and joined one of the most powerful law firms in the country. Her legal future was set, far from politics, far from chaos. He was the working-class Ohio native who wrote Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir that captivated political America. But behind his rise, many believe, was Usha. Insiders say she pushed him to write the book, helped shape his voice, and advised him as he transitioned into venture capital, and eventually, politics. By the time J.D. launched his Senate campaign in 2021, Usha wasn't just by his side. She was behind the curtain, pulling strings. Was she the loyal wife or the mastermind? With her elite education and legal connections, Usha was perfectly positioned to help J.D. navigate power. Some claim her influence was strategic, not sentimental. A calculated move to cement their place in the political world. And as J.D. moved sharply right, Usha appeared to shift with him. Once a registered Democrat, her views seemed to evolve conveniently alongside her husband's ambitions. After all, J.D. built his brand as a champion of the working class, rejecting the elite. Yet Usha is the elite, raised in academia, educated at the Ivy League, and connected to power through the very institutions JD criticizes. Their political image as relatable outsiders? It's starting to look more like a carefully constructed illusion. She rarely speaks. She never campaigns. And yet, Usha Vance may be the most influential political spouse in America today. While JD Vance makes headlines, Usha remains in the shadows, silent, poised, and mysterious. But behind that silence, insiders suggest, is a sharp strategist shaping her husband's every move. Could it be that the hardline stances JD now embraces are less about personal belief and more about Usha's quiet vision of power? Unlike most political partners, Usha keeps a low profile. No public statements, no interviews, barely a trace on social media. This intentional elusiveness has only fueled speculation. Is she simply private, or is she hiding a colder, more calculating persona? Disciplined to the core, shaped by her high-achieving Indian-American upbringing, Usha was raised to pursue excellence at any cost. Some say that cost included emotional distance, even ruthlessness. Her mother, Dr. Lakshmi Chilukuri, reportedly harbors deep concerns about the woman her daughter has become. Whispers suggest Lakshmi has described Usha in stark, unsettling terms, raising the question, what does her own mother know that the public doesn't? Then there's the cultural disconnect. Despite her Indian heritage and elite academic background, Usha avoids discussing her ethnicity in public. While figures like Kamala Harris and Nikki Haley have embraced their roots, Usha has chosen silence. Why? Some say it doesn't fit the image she and JD have cultivated. Outsiders, fighting for the working class. But is that image authentic or carefully engineered? The turning point came with controversy. When JD made inflammatory remarks about liberal, childless women, Usha didn't flinch. She stood by him, offering no public objection. Critics argue that her silence wasn't apathy. It was agreement. If true, it suggests she's not just supporting his politics, she's helping shape them. And that leads to the biggest question of all. Was this marriage ever just about love? JD Vance, unrefined, relatable, with a compelling backstory, was the perfect partner for someone like Usha, elite, polished, and strategic. Some believe she saw his potential before anyone else did, and helped mold him into a political force. While JD's rise was messy and unpredictable, Usha's path appears deliberate. Every move calculated. Every decision designed to build power. A quiet genius navigating from the sidelines, or a cold architect of influence hiding behind the perfect facade? But Usha Vance's story doesn't end with politics. It gets even more personal. Raised in a devout Hindu household, Usha's decision to marry outside her faith raised more than a few eyebrows. Was this a love story or a power move? Some insiders suggest it wasn't just romance, but a calculated alliance, one designed to elevate both JD and Usha into the political elite. And with JD's controversial stances, often in stark contrast to Usha's cultural roots, many wonder, was this a source of silent conflict between her and her mother? Her refusal to address these questions only deepens the mystery. Why the silence? Is it because her beliefs no longer reflect her upbringing? Or is she simply protecting an image she's worked years to perfect? To her supporters, this makes her a disciplined, focused leader, sharp, calculated, and unshakable. To critics, it makes her dangerous, a woman who values control over compassion, power over principle. Then there's the chilling possibility. What if Usha isn't just JD's partner, but the architect of his entire political identity? Her mother, Dr. Lakshmi Chilukuri, has allegedly described Usha as cold, even manipulative. If true, that suggests a woman driven not by love or values, but by strategy and self-preservation. So what's the legacy she's building? Will Usha Vance be remembered as a quiet genius behind the curtain? Or a shadowy force who rewrote the rules of political influence? Is she a devoted wife who chose love, or a mastermind who chose power? Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain. Usha Vance's impact on American politics is only beginning. And the more we uncover, the more questions remain. What do you think? Is Usha the quiet supporter or the real power behind the throne? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.